Some people claim that the apostles did not allow the Gentiles, like us, to follow the law of God or written Torah that was given to Moses at Mount Sinai. According to Acts 15:24, since now you hear that some people came out from us, trouble you with reasoning, to upset your spirit, saying, circumcise and keep the law of Moses, which we commanded not. Now, before we can conclude anything, we must first identify the people who said, circumcise and keep the law of Moses. According to Acts 15:5, moreover, they rose up, some people from the sect of the Pharisees, who have believed, saying that it is necessary to circumcise. They've also declared to keep the law of Moses. This means the people who said circumcise and keep the law of Moses are from the sect of the Pharisees. In other words, these people are Pharisees. And do you know what Pharisees mainly follow and teach? The Talmud, Mishnah, and Gemara, or also known as traditions of man or oral Torah, which they also call as custom of Moses or law of Moses. Which is why, according to Paul in Galatians 2:4, moreover, through false brothers or Pharisees, smuggled in, which some came in alongside to spy out our freedom, which we have in the Christ Yeshua, in order to enslave us to traditions of man or oral Torah. And according to Acts 15:1, and some Pharisees came down from Yehuda or Judea, taught the brothers that if they are not circumcised in the customs of Moses or oral Torah, they will never be saved. In other words, the custom of Moses or law of Moses that were mentioned in Acts 15 is not the law of God or written Torah that was given to Moses at Mount Sinai. Instead, the custom of Moses or law of Moses that were mentioned in Acts 15 are traditions of man or oral Torah. Now, is circumcision a sin? According to Paul in Romans 2:25-29, indeed, circumcision truly benefits if one practices the law of God or written Torah, but if one have been a violator of the law of God or written Torah, your circumcision becomes uncircumcised. Certainly, if the uncircumcised keeps the righteousness, the law of God or written Torah, he would not indeed be counted into the uncircumcised, but counted into the circumcised. And judge, he who is uncircumcised in nature accomplishes the law of God or written Torah, or you who in letter or birth certificate and is circumcised violates the law of God or written Torah. For he is not a Jew or Israelite outward, neither circumcised outward in flesh. Rather, he is a Jew or Israelite inward, and circumcised in the heart, in spirit, not in letter or birth certificate, whose praise is not from man, rather from God. In other words, circumcised or not, as long as the Gentiles follow the law of God or written Torah that was given to Moses at Mount Sinai, they are not sinning. According to Paul in Romans 7:7, who will say certainly the law of God or written Torah is sin? That cannot be. But I would not know sin if not through the law of God or written Torah. For I would not understand lust if the law of God or written Torah had not said, you shall not covet, or the 10th commandment of God. Also, according to Paul in 1 Timothy 1:8, moreover, understand that the law of God or written Torah is good, if anyone put it to use lawfully. And according to 1 John 3:4, all who have done sin have also done a violation to the law of God or written Torah, and sin is the violation of the law of God or written Torah. And besides, the Gentiles were not ready to be circumcised. How do we know that? Well, if they were truly ready, they should have known that there is not a single verse in the law of God or in Torah that says circumcision is the way to salvation or eternal life. Because circumcision is an indication, a seal or proof of righteousness, just like Abraham, who was circumcised when he was 99 years old. According to Romans 4:9-12, is the blessedness according upon the circumcision or upon the uncircumcision. And for we speak because belief is counted to Abraham as righteousness. In what way do we count accordingly? Do we count being in circumcision or in uncircumcision? No, never in circumcision, rather in uncircumcision. And he, Abraham, received an indication, a circumcision, a seal or proof of righteousness. He had believed in God when he was still uncircumcised. into him becoming the father of all who believed in God, through being still uncircumcised into righteousness, is being counted as well. And he, Abraham, the father of circumcision, did not only start from circumcision, rather also walked the steps of belief in God, when he, our father Abraham, was still uncircumcised. Some might say, but according to the law of God that was given to Moses, only the children of Abraham can be circumcised. Yes, but it was also mentioned that Gentiles who were with Abraham should also be circumcised. According to Genesis 17:9-12, Elohim answered and said towards Abraham, "You will keep this covenant or agreement, you and your seeds after generations. Hereby, this covenant or agreement which will be kept between me, you, and your seed after, all male will be circumcised. Circumcise the skin of foreskin. It will be a sign of the covenant or agreement between me and you. The sons who are 8 days old will be circumcised. All male generations born in your house, or even those that are acquired through money, all the foreign or Gentile sons who is not your seed." Also, according to Paul in Galatians 3:7, "Know therefore that those from faith, the same, are children of Abraham." Some might say, but isn't believing the Christ not enough? According to Yeshua or Christ in John 5:46-47, "For if you believe Moses, you will believe me, for he wrote about me. Moreover, if you believe not his book or in Torah, how much more will you believe my words?" Following the law of God or in Torah that was given to Moses at Mount Sinai will not take away our past sins, but it will help us sin no more, because Yeshua or Christ requires us to sin no more, so that if we believe in him, our past sins will be taken away and receive salvation or eternal life. Now, if we follow the law of God or in Torah that was given to Moses at Mount Sinai, but do not believe that Yeshua is the Messiah or Christ, like the Sadducees, then we will sin no more, but receive no salvation or eternal life. According to Yeshua or Christ in John 8:24, "I will say certainly to you, that you will die in your own sins. For if you believe not that I am the Christ, you will die in your own sins." Now, if we believe that Yeshua is the Messiah or Christ, but do not follow the law of God or in Torah that was given to Moses at Mount Sinai, then we will only continue to sin and receive judgment and death. According to Yeshua or Christ in Matthew 7:23, "And at that time I will declare to them, I never knew you. Go away from me, you that do violations to the law of God or in Torah." If you find this helpful, just simply like and subscribe to this channel. If you want to help back, just kindly donate at our Ko-fi or Patreon. Links are in the description. Thank you and God bless.